Okay.
Ready when you are.
Everybody's ready?
Live from the foothills of the majestic Rocky Mountains, this is the 2019 NAGAAA Cup Invitational, sponsored by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
For those who thirst for more, Coors Light is colder, cleaner, and crisper. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Welcome back to Day 2 coverage of the 2019 NAGAAA Cup. He's Rich Siegel. I'm Roman Jimenez, and joining us in the broadcast booth is our engineer extraordinaire, Mitch Barnes, and we are thrilled to be bringing you championship play today. We'll kick off our coverage with the semi-final, and then we will work our way throughout the rest of the day, clearing up the list until we get to the championship game at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. That'll be 6 p.m. back east or 3 p.m. out west. And our very first game is the Palm Springs Rounders against the Austin, Texas Fusion. And here to set this game up is my broadcast partner, Rich Siegel. Rich, you know these teams very well.
Yes, I do. They were both extremely competitive yesterday in winning their first two games in the tournament play. The Rounders defeated the Portland Brewers. And by the way, for those of you in Portland listening, your team has just won its elimination game, so they have advanced. Anyway, the Rounders defeated Portland, and then they defeated Phoenix Charlies. Meanwhile, the ATX Fusion defeated the Seattle Los Galitos and the San Francisco Fury Unleashed. Palm Springs is an A team, Austin is a B team, so we will be playing by the B team rules. I can tell you that both of these teams hit the ball very, very well. They were in double digits in the games that they did play, so this is going to be one of those games where if you like hitting, you're going to love this game that we're about to broadcast for you.
That earlier game last night between the Rounders and the Phoenix Charlies was a bit of a rematch of that A-Division championship at the Sin City Classic. Charlies were able to double-dip the Rounders in that, coming out of the loser bracket to beat the Rounders and then force an if game and then win that if game. This time, Rounders were able to handle Charlies and push them into the loser bracket, and now they're going to try to do the same thing here with Fusion, though Fusion is, in this game, the higher seed, so they will be the home team.
They will be the home team. They do have concerns about playing this Palm Springs team because, of course, Palm Springs has a tremendous history in NAGAAA, but they're not going to back down. They know what's ahead of them. They know that this is a game that they're going to have to just stay consistent in their hitting, which they did in not only their two tournament games yesterday, but even in 3 of their 4 round-robin games. We did one of their games against Portland yesterday morning. It was the 3rd game that we did, so they know what's at stake for them. And of course, Palm Springs never takes any team lightly, and this is part of the reason for their success.
You can see a meeting on the mound there at the home plate between the Palm Springs manager and captain. That's Jeff Herman, the manager there, number 10. And then next to him is Philip Garrett, one of the team captains. He plays in the right field, right center. Often that's number 22. Meeting up with the Texas Fusion coach. Who's that?
That's Andy Cope.
And they are having that meeting with Chris Overly, the umpire from San Francisco. He'll be calling balls and strikes for this game. Give us the lineups.
I will do that. Since Palm Springs is the visiting team, we'll go with their lineup first. Evan Morris will lead off. He's going to be the 5th man in the 5-man infield. George Davidson will pitch and bat second. Duke Kulis is in center field hitting 3rd. Rob Turner is in the cleanup spot. He is playing 3rd base. Mike Kerr is the catcher. Kyle Marsh in right field. Aldo Cano at 1st base. John Tadeo at shortstop, Jeff Herman at 2nd base, and Philip Garrett in left field. Their subs are Anthony Siciliano and Keith Richards. For Austin, they have made a lineup change. Yesterday, Ben Spokley was the cleanup in all 6 of their games, but he has been dropped in the lineup because he did not hit as well as everyone else, it seemed. Anyway, James Clark will lead off at shortstop. Keith Hinshaw is moving from first base to right field. He will be in right field. Chris Bogan, who was in right field for most of the games yesterday, has been moved to right center field. Brian Van Vlera is the pitcher. Ashton Hinton at second base. Stephen Dillard at first base. Eric Straker will catch. Ben Spokley will bat 8th and play third base. Kelsey Spittler is the left fielder, and Omar Zabane is in left center batting 10th. The subs for Austin are Brian Cash and Andy Cope, but unless there's an injury, those two likely will not play as they are their base coaches. I'll tell you that I was talking to both coaches about an hour and a half ago, and I said, Andy, give me one word that describes your team, and he said resiliency. I asked the same question of Jeff, and he said family. So that's what we have. We have a resilient team against a family team today, and this is going to be a very interesting game to watch. Again, Austin from the Fusion from Austin, a B team playing Palm Springs, an A team, and again, Austin is the home team for our game this morning.
This game is brought to you by All-American Athletics, the official bats and uniform sponsor for NAGAAA. All-American Athletics has been a great partner for NAGAAA, and they could be a great partner for you. Check them out at All-American Athletics. Their website is allamerican-athletics.com. That's allamerican-athletics.com. First pitch of the game is brought to you by AD Star, your one-stop shop for balls and equipment. Check out the official ball sponsor for NAGAAA at adstarr.com. That's ADStar with 2 R's.com.
Left fielder for Austin is Kelsey Spittler. The left center fielder is Omar Zabane. The right center fielder is Chris Bogan. And in right field, the veteran Keith Hinshaw. Along the infield, the third base, Ben Spokley. Slick fielding James Clark at shortstop. He's got a glove and he's got a cannon for an arm. Ashton Hinton at second base. At first base is Stephen Dillard. Behind the plate, Eric Straker, who played most of yesterday in right center field. He is catching today. And Brian Van Vlera, a World Series champion in his own from 2017 in Portland with the Hot Flash. He is in the circle this afternoon in the Central Time Zone and this morning in the Mountain Time Zone for the Fusion B team.
This is a cavalcade of world champions between the Rounders team and this Austin team, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. This is the Fusion's really second year. They started as a C team in 2017 and did so well in Portland. They had to move up to B last year, and they finished, I believe, either 4th or 5th in Tampa, only in their second full season. The first pitch of the game is outside for a ball.
That'll be 1-1 count now, so that's 2 balls. Forgot to mention the 1-1 count. That's on me. Sorry about that.
And that's a base hit to right field. Hinshaw up and gets it back in, and we have a leadoff batter here on.
That's Evan Morris.
That's Evan Morris, and that'll bring up the pitcher, George Davidson, wears number 33 and bats from the right side.
Evan wants to give a shout-out to his partner in crime, Chris Hallisey, who is undoubtedly watching today from San Diego.
First pitch to Davidson. He swings and lifts one to left field. Hit rather well, but it'll stay in the park. Kelsey Spittler makes the catch, and on the play, Morris will tag and go from first to second. He's in scoring position now with 1 out.
Just got underneath that one a little bit.
Duke Koulis, the center fielder, will bat next. And he will try to give his team an early lead here in the top of the first. We play 60 minutes. There's a ground ball backhanded at first by Dillard. Tosses on to Van Vlera, but not in time as Koulis beats the play. It'll go as an infield single for Koulis, and on the play, Morris takes third. It's first and third with 1 out, and the batter will be Rob Turner.
Bang, bang, hustle play, and Chris Overly was right there with the call. Koulis was hustling down that line.
Turner, the cleanup batter, he swings at the first pitch and lines one right to Clark, right at him. Hardly had to move. Hardly had to move at all. He kind of jumped a little bit, but really didn't have to. And so that's out number 2. You get the cleanup batter out. Runner still at first and third for the catcher, Mike Kerr. He was telling me earlier he wanted the clouds to stick around, but we've got another beautiful day today here. We've got a partly cloudy to mostly sunny sky here in Denver. And at game time, our temperature is 61 degrees. First pitch is inside for a ball. And Valera likes to work quickly. Ground ball to Dillard. Off his body. That'll get a run in. Took a little bit of a bad hop. It'll be first and second for Palm Springs. They score their first run of the game as Morris scores. And the batter will be Kyle Marsh.
And that first run of the game is brought to you by Right Choice Promotions, the official merchandiser for NAGAAA. Whenever you need a merchandise run, check them out at rightchoicepromotions.com.
First pitch is outside for a ball to Kyle Marsh.
That's a dangerous place to pitch, Kyle, because his power swing is to that right side alley.
There's a swing and a grounder to shortstop off of Clark's glove. And that'll be bases loaded now for Palm Springs. And their hottest hitter about to come to the plate. I asked Jeff Herman who
Aldo Cano. A little bit.
Yes, I said, who's been your hottest hitter so far in Denver? And he said, no question, it's been Aldo Cano. And so he bats with the sacks loaded. We've got Kulis at third, Kerr at second, and Marsh at first base. And the first pitch is a little short for a ball.
Cano, one of the nicest people you will ever meet, by the way.
There's a fly ball hit deep to left center field. It's over the head of Kelsey Spittler. One run is in. Here comes another. They're going to send Marsh. He will score. And the relay is caught by the pitcher, so Cano will not advance any further. He gets a 3-run double, and it is 4-0.
He smoked that, and it looked like it was maybe catchable for the left fielder out there, but that ball just kept rising. It never really had any kind of topspin on it, and that's when you know you've really squared it up. They're pulling him now for Kerr to run at second.
And that'll bring up John Tadeo, and he takes a pitch outside. John is their shortstop. So a couple of miscues have hurt Brian Van Vleer here. They should have been out of this inning. But as it stands, Palm Springs takes advantage of those, and they're up 4-0 here in the top of the first. And here's a swing and a grounder to third. Off the glove of Spokley. A run is safe, and now we'll have runners at first and third with still 2 out. And the batter will be the second baseman, Jeff Herman.
That was a hard-hit ball and a tricky one. They just haven't found the gloves yet. But good fundamental mechanics keeping those balls in front of them when they aren't getting. So they're helping themselves a little bit.
First pitch is in for a strike. Caught the outside corner. Jeff, of course, the coach of this team. He takes that pitch a little bit low. It is 1-1. Brian likes to work quickly, and he comes right back with the pitch. It's illegal. So 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's 2 illegal pitches in a row. One was exceeded the height limit, and one fell short of the height limit.
That one is right at the height limit, and that's hit deep to left, but it'll stay in the park. It will be caught by Kelsey Spittler, and the inning is over. Palm Springs scores 4 runs in the top of the first, and they grab the early lead 4-0 here in Denver.
The Fusion will come up now, trying to answer. Again, they're the home team, and you'll see a 5-person mechanic as Rich was saying. That means that they're going to have a total of 7 infielders. They'll have the pitcher and the catcher, but they'll also have a third baseman, a shortstop, a second baseman, a first baseman, and then an extra infielder, and that'll be, as Rich had mentioned, that'll be played by the player Evan Morris, who really is going to be kind of playing up the middle, sort of a mix between shortstop and second, and depending on who the batter is, Morris will move. So right now it looks like he's lining up as kind of a deep shortstop. It's a great mechanic if you've got outfielders who can cover the ground.
And they do. They've got a lot of speed out there.
They do, yeah.
The left fielder is Philip Garrett, Duke Kulis in center field, Kyle Marsh in right, Rob Turner at third, John Tadeo at short. The aforementioned Evan Morris on the 5-man infield is the 5th infielder. Jeff Herman at second base. Aldo Cano, who delivered a 3-run bases-clearing double in the top of the first. Aldo Cano at first base. Behind the plate is Mike. Well, behind the plate is not Mike Kerr. There's a switch.
Mike Kerr went out to right field.
Oh, okay.
And Kyle is here at short, behind the plate, a catcher. Probably a very last-minute change there.
Okay, well, let me correct that in my book and on my defensive sheet. And James Clark is ready to stand in and get the bottom of the first started. I'm glad you caught that. Start with a 1-1 count. George Davidson is pitching today for Palm Springs, as always. And here's a fly ball hit foul down the left field line. Strike 1, now strike 2.
when you're a pitcher and you see someone tee off with that kind of power, and it was easy power, you just kind of think to yourself that old line from Major League. It was just a long strike. It was just a long strike.
Andy Cope is coaching at third. Brian Cash is coaching at first, and that will be consistent throughout the game. They very rarely change. Next pitch is inside for a ball, 2-2. Let's see if Austin can take advantage of the three-man outfield, but not on that at-bat, as James Clark hits a weak ground ball back to the pitcher, and that's out number one. They have put out 1-3. Keith Henshaw playing right field today. He will bat next. Keith is a veteran of NAGAAA. He's been around since the late 90s. And he swings and lifts one foul down the left field line in almost the exact same spot that Clark's ball went, but not as hard hit. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That one did not meet the height requirement.
So another illegal, and that is 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a swing and a ground ball. Foul, just foul down the first base line.
Just missed.
And that's the courtesy foul, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the count is still 2-2. You're allowed 1 courtesy foul in our game today, so if he were to hit another foul ball, he would be out. He likes to go opposite field when he can. You notice the contrast in pitching. George does not work as quickly as Brian.
Oh, great.
Grounded to third and a nice stop.
And they're going to call him save.
By Rob Turner, who had to dive for the ball. Came up and threw, but Henshaw beat the play, and he is on with a 1-out single. And that will bring up Chris Bogan.
It was a bang-bang play, really well done. The dive by the third baseman to spear that ball away, and then the recovery and the solid throw. Looked like Chris Overly wanted to call him safe at first, but thought better of it.
Yeah.
And he was right. He was right to not do that because he did just beat it.
Here's Bogan, takes a pitch deep for a ball. He's playing right center field today. He played most of yesterday in right field. Next pitch to him is short. Ball 3. 3 balls on one strike.
Not by much. Kyle gave him kind of a look. Are you sure?
And that pitch is over for a strike. The count is full. Here's the next one. Swing and a liner to right center field. That is in for a hit. Henshaw around second on his way to third. The ball is bobbled in right field by Kerr. That'll allow Bogan to take second. Henshaw is going to try to score, and he is out.
Got it.
What a play. What a play, what a hit, what a rally, what a relay. Marsh was there behind home plate to hold on to the ball throughout the tag. That was textbook softball right there. Just a quick chat with the umpire, wanting to make sure that everyone is all on the same page here.
The putout will go from right field to the middle infielder. So that's a 9. What do I call the middle infielder?
4.5.
9, 4.5. We'll just call it what it is. Kerr to Morris to Marsh. And that is out number 2, and we'll bring up Brian Van Vleera.
I think what we saw there was Jeff Herman coming in to chat with Chris Overly, and it looked like on the tag, the player almost was trying to, not intentionally, but it kind of looked like he had his arm around the glove of Kyle Marsh, and that's going to elicit a warning from the umpire to both managers there.
First pitch to Brian Van Vleera is outside for a ball.
So we got 2 outs now, right?
We have 2 outs indeed, and Van Vleera swings and lifts one to the alley in right center field. Caught! Oh, what a great catch by Duke Houlis. Duke Houlis makes the inning-ending out. Austin does not score in the top of the first in spite getting 2 hits, so after 1, our score is Palm Springs 4 and Austin nothing.
Hang a star on that, Jerry Coleman, because that was a full-out extension dive. Ran 10 or 12 steps to his right and just dove and came up with that nice and clean in his glove. It's hard to imagine a player who is that good at softball is even better at golf.
Duke
is a premier golfer, and one day you will see him on the PGA Tour.
Okay.
He is
We'll
that
count
good.
on that. So we were talking a little earlier about illegal pitches. One of the rules that is in play here for the NAGAAA Cup, the pitch height has to be between 6 and 12 feet, and a few of the pitches that we have seen today have either been above 12 or below 6, and that's what Chris Overly has been responsible for making sure, among the many things that he's responsible for this afternoon. So we are about ready to start here in the top of the second. The score remains 4-0. The leadoff batter for Palm Springs is going to be Philip Garrett. Philip is the 10th man in the batting order, leading off here, and he takes the first pitch a little deep and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And when you see the umpire stick his arm straight out, it'll be his left arm straight out, palm straight up, almost like he's what they say is you're holding a can of beer. And when it's straight out like that, that is the sign for illegal pitch.
Grounder to short, and there's an overthrow.
Stayed out of the dugout, though.
So Philip Garrett will reach. It'll bring up the middle infielder, Evan Morris. He singled to right his first at-bat and scored the first run of the game. He has a runner at first base with nobody out here on the top of the second. It's 11:30 now here in Denver on a really sweet day. First pitch is illegal, and it's outside. It's 2-1. Next one, he swings and lifts one to left field. Kelsey Spiller comes in on the ball, makes the catch, and Garrett tags from first and goes to second. Palm Springs doing a great job of running the bases.
They're going to appeal this.
They're going to appeal it,
I don't know that he didn't leave early,
safe.
But they're going to call him safe.
Palm Springs doing a good job of being aggressive on the base pass. It's the second time in as many innings where they have tagged on a fly ball and gone from first to second to put a runner in scoring position. George Reynolds, the batter, he flew out to left field his first at-bat, and he bats with 1 out here in the top of the second. Swings at the first pitch and hits one deep to left field. It is caught by Spittler. Garrett will tag, and he'll move on to third, so they're playing station to station on 2 fly balls, and now have a runner at third base with now 2 out, and Duke Kulis, the batter, he reached on an infield single in the first inning, and he scored their second run of the game. So Brian Van Vleer is inducing a lot of these players to hit the ball to the left side on these fly balls. It's the third out put out for Spittler, and the first pitch to Kulis is in for a strike.
That one was illegal, so now a ball.
And that hit him.
Charge the mound.
I was updating my scorebook, so I should have 3 and 2.
It is, I believe.
Okay. Next one. Here's a fly ball to right field.
It's hit
well. He got a hold of it, and that ball is out of here. It is a 2-run homer for Duke Kulis, and that extends the lead for Palm Springs to 6-0. That ball just kept carrying and carrying. Hinshaw, going back about 20 steps, realized that ball was going to not only be over his head, but over the fence. So it's a 2-run homer for Kulis, and that makes our score 6-0.
He really got a hold of that opposite field power. Probably went 310 feet.
Easily. Rob Turner lined to the shortstop his first at-bat. He bats with nobody on and 2 outs, and the first pitch is a strike. Swing and a liner to second base, up the middle, into right center field for a base hit. Bogan bobbles momentarily, but Turner will not advance, and he's a 2-out base runner to bring up Mike Kerr. Kerr reached on an infield error in the first inning and scored the third run of the game. He bats now with 2 outs and a runner at first base.
Big, tall lefty. Crouches down.
First pitch to him is inside for a ball, 2-1.
Sorry about that. I was saying he's crouching down, makes the strike zone a little smaller.
Liner to right center field is in for a hit. Turner will take the turn at second, go on to third. Bogan in with the ball. It goes past the cutoff man, but not far enough for any further advancement. Runners at the corners now with 2 out.
That was a great stop by Bogan because he was running to his right to get it, to his left to get to that, and kind of almost overran it and was able to get the glove down, put on the brakes, and then get that ball back in. So really well done by Bogan out there.
Kyle Marsh swings and lifts one to the alley in right center field, but Hinshaw over to make the catch, and the inning is over. 2 runs and 2 left here in the top of the second. Austin about to bat in their half of the second, trailing now by the score of 6-0.
This is a good time to remind you that this game is brought to you by All American Athletics, the official bats and uniform sponsor for NAGAAA. A3 has been a great partner for NAGAAA, and they could be a great partner for you. Check them out online at allamerican-athletics.com. That's allamerican-athletics.com. So, we're about 2.5 innings in here, 1.5 inning here. What are you seeing so far?
I'm seeing a Palm Springs team that will take advantage of whatever little chink in your game you commit. Austin, we don't like to accentuate or talk about things that are miscues, but there have been 4. And they have 6 runs as a result of that. And you have to be honest and call it what it is. It's a winner's bracket game, and you have to bring your A game, even as a B team. And so far, Austin has made 3 critical errors, and that has resulted in the first inning continuing. And I don't want to be critical. This is my home team.
Well,
all right?
In their defense, I will say the balls that they have misplayed have been hit incredibly hard.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to give them that.
You do that. I'm going to try to temper my remarks on that because I know that I don't like doing it that way. It hurts, but if they get their bats going, that may
else.
Yeah, exactly. Ashton Hinton will lead off, and he takes the first pitch for a strike.
That was a good pitch from Reynolds there. Started way off into that batter's on the other side of the batter's box and got enough of the curve to get that to cross on the outside. That one was illegal.
This Palm Springs team has won 2 A World Series. Ashton Hinton swings and hits a grounder to short. On to first, and that's the first out of the inning. A nice play by Tadeo on to Kano, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the second.
That was some slick fielding by Tadeo.
Stephen Dillard now the batter. He is the first baseman. He hit the ball well yesterday. Reynolds works off the far left-hand side as I'm looking at it, and the right-hand side as he's looking at it of the pitcher's mound. That's where he has his left foot planted. And the next pitch is outside. Palm Springs won a B Division World Series in 2012 in Minneapolis. Here's a fly foul and drops safely. And then when they moved to A in 2013, there are World Series champions in the A Division in Dallas in 2014 and in Portland in 2017. This team just wins. Dillard strikes out swinging, and that's out number 2.
One of the best teams in the country.
Yes. Eric Straker, the catcher, will bat now with 2 outs and nobody on. That was the first team people kept telling me about when I went to the 2014 Dallas World Series. This is, look out for them. He goes, go watch them play. You'll appreciate what they can do. Next pitch is inside.
And people come from all around to play for them. Morris is based in San Diego. I think Cano is based in San Diego as well.
There's a base hit up the middle by Straker. He was a little what's the word I'm looking for? He was a little concerned about his hitting in yesterday late games, but he got his stroke back today, and all he said he wanted to do was be consistent because he felt he was hurting his team yesterday. But today, so far, that one at bat success.
That was pretty. Looked like he just took a little bit off of it and took advantage of what they gave him.
Ben Spokley is the third baseman, and he hits a ground ball to the middle infielder. On to first. That's Morris to Kano, and that is the end of the bottom of the second. A hit and 1 left. As we go to the top of the third, it is 6-0 Palm Springs. Kano, Tadeo, and Herman will bat for the Rounders here in the top of the third.
You'll notice this is a pick-a-stick format, so you notice the coach of the Fusion moving the bucket of bats over to the other side for the team that will be hitting. Pick-a-stick basically means that the bats are provided for the tournament, and in this case they're provided by All-American Athletics, the official bats and uniform sponsor for NAGAAA. They're today's game's sponsor. There are 2 different kinds of bats at 3 different weights, and we can tell you a little bit about them.
Yeah, I took some notes on this yesterday, and I don't think we never
got
about
to
it yesterday. DeMarini provides the bats. They have a DeMarini Future. It's an end-loaded bat, good for power hitters, and they come in half-ounce weight sizes, 25.5, 26.5, 27.5, 28.5. Although Kano will step in, he hit a bases clearing double in the top of the first, and the first pitch to him is swung on and lifted to center field. It will be caught by the right center fielder, who was positioned perfectly, Bogan. That's out number 1. And then the balanced bat, this is more for, according to the people that I talked to, not so much power hitters.
It's for those punch and Judy guys.
Punch and Judy guys. It's a legacy bat, and it comes in weights 25, 26, 27, and 28. So depending on whether you are a power hitter or a spray hitter will determine what bat you use. Next pitch goes outside. It's 3-1.
I will tell you, I have a 26 future and a 26 legacy. The legacy I use for when I'm trying to just pop it over onto the right side, and the legacy or the future I use when I'm trying to pull it down the line.
And how successful are you? Grounder to Clark. Hold on real quick. Out is made. 6-3 in the
beautiful.
putout. Nice play by James Clark.
Gloves,
Yes, they sure did. Rich, we don't want you talking bad about us anymore. We're going to flash some leather, and that certainly was one of them. And brings up Jeff Herman, who flied to left his first time up.
To answer your question, I'm as successful as a C player in softball ought to be when he's trying to hit to the opposite field.
Here's a base hit to left field. Softly hit. Found a hole, found a little grass, and Jeff Herman is a 2-out base runner. Mike Kerr will come in and run for him. Philip Garrett reached on a throwing error his first at-bat and scored their 5th run. And here's a fly ball high and into right field. Henshaw going back. It's got some carry. The Sun is playing tricks with the ball again, and Henshaw is looking at it and says, "Get out of the way." He made the catch backhanded. And that's out number 3 here in the top of the third. No runs, a hit, and 1 left. And it's 6-0 as we go to the Fusion's half of the third inning.
This is a good time to remind you that the 2019 NAGAAA Cup is presented by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
For those who thirst for more, Coors Light is colder, cleaner, and crisper. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Right here?
Yeah, that's going to overheat, and then everything drops out. I have to go find the ladder. Next break.
Okay. Well, just stick with that one and then get rid of us and go. All right, we're back now?
Yeah.
Top of the third, or excuse me, bottom of the third for the Austin ATX Fusion. Kelsey Spittler will lead off. She bats from the left side, and she takes a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. George Reynolds working a little faster. That pitch just misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Past the outstretched dive of second baseman Jeff Herman, and Spittler will reach on a single, and that's how the bottom of the third will start for Austin. Omar Zabane wearing number 4 today. Fusion decked out in their lime green and blue jerseys. The lime green on the front more than the back. And Zabane, who is nursing a foot injury, lifts a fly ball to right field. Mike Kerr makes the catch, and that's the first out of the bottom of the third, and Spittler holds at first.
Even Kerr, it looked like, was battling a little bit of the sun out there.
Yes, high sky, even with those clouds, it appears. James Clark, as we turn the lineup around, get back to the top of the order, he grounded back to the pitcher in his first at-bat. And he swings and hits a ground ball down the line into the left field corner. It'll be at least a double. Spittler will hold third. Andy Cope will hold her there. And it'll be a double for James Clark. Runners at second and third now, as that ball, again, another good effort by third baseman Rob Turner, just diving, having the ball glance off his glove. Another hard hit, and so it's a double for Clark, second and third with 1 out. Henshaw now.
Clark got to second in the blink of an eye.
He is lightning fast. I think he may be the fastest player in softball Austin. Henshaw reached on a single past the third baseman in his first at-bat, and he lifts a weak pop-up into the right center field. And it will be caught by Herman backpedaling about 20 steps. That's out number 2.
I thought that one had a chance to get out there, but Herman was too good on that play.
Chris Bogan, the batter. Bogan hit a base hit to right center field, his first at-bat. Yesterday we were talking about some of the players on this Austin team who are World Series champions, and we got a message from one of our viewers yesterday that Chris Bogan did play on the Outlaws team that won the World Series in Columbus in 2015. I had forgotten about that. I was at that World Series and saw them win. So, yeah, he played on that team. So this team has four players who are World Series champions. Bogan hits the first one foul. The second pitch was low, so we're 2-2. There's a swing and a base hit to right field. Spittler will score at 6-1. Here comes Clark easily scoring to make it 6-2. And a 2-run single by Bogan puts Austin on the board. 6-2 now here in the bottom of the third. Ryan Van Vleera fly to center field, his first at-bat. First pitch to him is low for a ball. It's 2-1. Next one. Swing and a liner to left center field. Again, that ball hangs up. Diving effort by Kulis, but it goes off his glove. Bounces to the fence. Here comes Bogan at 6-3. Van Vleera on his way to third, and he's in on it with a triple. A great effort by Duke Kulis. The ball did not hang up as much this time as it did in Van Vleera's first at-bat. Kulis ranging far to his right field. And again, if you're just joining us, Palm Springs playing 3 outfielders, 5 infielders. So that was just off Kulis's glove. Bounced to the fence, and it's a triple for Van Vleera on RBI, and it's 6-3, and here's Hinton. So Austin battling back after being down 6-0 here. They have played at 3, and the first pitch to Ashton is a little bit low for a ball. He grounded to second base in his first at-bat, and he takes the next pitch, and he hits one down the left field line foul, and it's 2-2. Dillard will move into the on-deck circle. Ashton Hinton tries to keep this inning going. Van Vleera at third base hits that ball solid. He's been a solid hitter his entire time in softball. Next pitch to Hinton. He takes it just inside. Good eye. The count is full. There's no force on Van Vleera at third base because there are no runners at first and second. Here's a ground ball just past the outstretched dive of Tadeo. Van Vleera scores on the RBI single by Hinton. It is now 6-4. Putting it right where they barely can get to it, or barely can't get to it in this case. And so Hinton keeps the inning going. It'll bring up Dillard, and he swings and fouls one to the right side. It's strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the third here in Denver. And that next pitch is just low. It hit the front of the plate. 2-2. George Reynolds working quickly. Strike 3 call. Dillard looked at it. That's the second time he's gone down on strikes. But Austin does rally back. They pick up 4 runs here in the bottom of the third. And they do it with 5 hits. They leave a runner, and that is how we end the third inning. It is now 6-4 for Palm Springs. And as the Rounders come to bat to try to get those runs back, they'll go to the top of their order. Morris will lead off. Morris so far today is singled and fly to left. So I know Coach Cope has to be a little more encouraged with how things went in that inning. Morris scored Palm Springs' first run of the game, and he'll lead off here in the top of the 4th. And good morning to those of you in Palm Springs listening to us and watching us, and we're hoping that you're enjoying this game. And good afternoon to our viewers in Austin. Here's a line drive up the middle that gets between the outfielders for a hit. Bogan does cleanly field the ball, gets it back into Hinton, and so a leadoff runner here in the top of the 4th, and that will be Evan Morris. He has his second hit of the game. It'll bring up the pitcher George Davidson, who has twice flied to left field.
He's going to remember you said that.
He probably will. First pitch is high, 2-2. 2-1 rather, and there's a line drive caught by Van Vleera. Solidly hit ball, but right back at the pitcher. He did not have a play at first base, and so Morris easily was able to get back to first base. Duke Koulis, the batter. Koulis has singled, and he had an opposite field home run in the second inning. He has scored twice, has 2 RBIs. He takes the first pitch for a ball. And the next pitch is swung on and popped up.
That
in
could be
shallow
trouble.
right center field. Bogan coming in, drops the ball. And he was playing with a high sky. The ball was in his glove and out of the glove, and so life for Koulis. And runners at first and second now with 1 out.
Morris was in no man's land, not sure where that was going to go. There at the very last minute, it looked like Bogan was going to catch it after all, so Morris kind of retreated back to first before he could get there. The ball hit the ground, and then he had to hustle to get to second to be safe,
Yes.
and he just barely beat the throw.
Rob Turner has lined to the shortstop. He is singled. He takes the first pitch way outside. 2 balls and a strike. Swung on and a grounder up the middle. Fielded by Clark Bobble.
Oh,
He makes
what a
the play at
play.
shortstop, and the runner is safe at first base. So the force out at second base gets Koulis off the base pass. Turner will reach on the fielder's choice. It is 6 unassisted on the putout at second base. On the play, Morris takes third. Yeah, you were right. That was a pretty good play.
Yeah, because the ball kind of came out of his glove, but Clark had the wherewithal to just watch it go back into his glove. He didn't panic. He knew where the ball was, and then he just let his speed do the rest.
Mike Kerr has reached twice. He bats with runners at the quarters and 2 outs. Look where Clark is playing for this batter. He is very
expecting
shallow.
A slap from the pole.
Liner to right field is in for a hit and another run as Morris scores for the second time in this game. It is now 7-4 on the play. Turner goes to second base on Kerr's hit. He has now 2 for 3. He has also reached in his first at bat. He reached on an infield error. Kyle Marsh, the batter. Marsh is batting for the third time. He takes a strike. And that pitch is outside for a ball. Next one is high. Oh, it's a strike. Okay, that caught the outside corner. And Chris Overly says, "You're done for the inning." Mr. Marsh will sit down. And that is how the top of the fourth ends. But another run for the Rounders. And they have added to that lead, which is now 7-4 as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Certainly nobody likes striking out looking, but that was Marsh's second time this tournament. Mm-hmm. We'll see if he's very good about just letting stuff go, and he's going to have to become pretty cordial with that umpire pretty quick because he's going to want those same pitches for his pitcher.
Yes. And so as we head to the bottom of the fourth, this game is moving very quickly. I think we started this game at, 11-17, thereabout? 11-17 was when we started. Mm-hmm. We're already officially in a 7-inning game. We're halfway through. Eric Straker leads off for Austin here in the bottom of the fourth. He singled in his first at-bat. And George Reynolds in this batter, since he's batting from the left side, and he gets a line single to left field for a base hit.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Reynolds was his foot position was a little bit different. He was on the other side of the mound for the left-handed batter, but to no avail as Straker gets a base hit to start the bottom of the fourth. And that'll bring up Ben Spokley, who grounded up the middle to the middle infielder his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1.
And you can probably hear the Austin fans there cheering.
Spokley swings, and he lifts a base hit to left field. On 2 pitches, Austin has 2 runners on to start the home half of the fourth inning. And we'll bring up Kelsey Spittler. She singled her first at-bat just off the second baseman's glove. You know, when I was talking to Andy Cope, I asked him, who have been your best players so far? And this was the first player he named.
Oh.
He hits a ground ball. It's off the glove of the middle infielder, Evan Morris. And Hinton, who is running at first base for Spokley, beats the throw to second base. And so the Fusion on 3 pitches have the bases loaded here for Omar Zabane.
Not exactly somebody you would be unhappy to see coming up with the bases loaded. Zabane has all kinds of power and speed, so he's got lots of speed on the bases now, doesn't he?
He hit the ball to right field. He hits a grounder to short. They'll get an out at second on the force out. The play to first is not in time. And so the force out will go 6-4 or 6 to the middle infielder. That'll be Tadeo to Morris.
Whatever number that is.
Yes, exactly. On the play, Straker scores. Hinton running for Spokley will take third base. And Austin gets that run back that Palm Springs scored in the top of the inning. It is now 7-5 for Palm Springs. It brings up James Clark. Clark swings at the first pitch, and he hits a grounder to the shortstop. Out at second.
Oh, my!
And out at first.
Oh, my. That was...
double play, 6-4-3, and the inning just as quickly as Austin had the bases loaded, it is done.
The late, great Dick Enberg there would say, oh my for
goodness.
How well that was turned. It was a sharply hit ball, and even with his speed, you had to have the perfect field, the perfect feed, and then the perfect turn, and that's what we saw there.
If you were paying attention to this inning, there were 5 batters that went to the plate and all hit the first pitch. Austin gets 1 run, and they will leave 1. We go to the top of the 5th, and it is 7-5. It looks like the Fusion are making, or is making, they're making a couple of defensive changes. Hinshaw has moved from right field to catcher. Straker has moved from catcher to right center. Bogan has moved from right center to right.
Now, what was the Laverne and Shirley thing that we just saw with the shortstop and the left fielder heading out to the field? Did you catch that?
I did not.
Okay, we'll have to see it next inning.
Kano will lead off here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and he hits one straight up the middle.
Knocks the glove off
of Van Vleera, and Kano reaches again. He is now 2 for 3. He reached on a bases clearing double in the first, hit a fly ball to right center in the 4th, and now leads off the 5th with a single. He is 2 for 3. And that'll bring up John Tadeo. He reached on an error and grounded to shortstop, and the first pitch to him is hit in the air to center field. Over is Straker. He leaps. He makes the catch. Ice cream.
Snoopy
That's
snow
an ice cream cone.
Oh, my.
That's a catch by Eric Straker. That'll be the first out of the inning. And on the play, Kano will move to second base. As again, Palm Springs does a good job of aggressive base running to put a runner in scoring position with less than 2 out. That was a fabulous catch.
He ranged far to his right, was battling the fence. I think had he not gloved that ball, it would have hit the 7 on the 307 sign on the fence.
John Tadeo lifts one into right field for a base hit. Kano stops at they're going to send him. The throw comes to Clark. There is no play at the plate. And Kano scores.
On Herman's single to right. And they're going to pull Herman now for a runner. That'll be
Mike Kerr. Philip Garrett will bat next. He has reached on an error, and he also has fly to right field. And he bats with 2 outs, a runner at first base, and swings at the first pitch and hits one to the alley and right center, drops in for a hit. Kerr will hold at second base, and Garrett reaches for the second time in this game. It's runners at first and second, and 1 out for Evan Morris, batting for the 4th time in 5 innings. Morris is singled, fly to left, and he's singled again. He's 2 for 3, and he has scored twice. He also has an RBI.
We had mentioned that a lot of players will come and play for teams from all around the country.
Fly ball to right field. It's got some carry. It's off the fence.
Oh.
Kerr will score. He had to hold to see if the ball was going to be caught. Garrett will be held at third. What is that, about a 302-foot single? And I misspoke.
Good way to describe it.
That will be the first RBI for Morris. And he has helped to plate their 8th run, and it is now, or their 9th run, excuse me. It's 9-5. Reynolds swings and hits the first pitch into right field for a base hit. Garrett scores. Morris holds second, and Palm Springs advances their lead with another RBI single.
10 now in the books. Is my math right?
Your math is correct.
So saying that Garrett is one of those players. lived in Palm Springs for a long time, was one of the kind of original members of the Rounders, and then moved to Tennessee and still plays with them at tournaments.
Yes, that's right. He did move to Tennessee.
He and his husband Michael moved out to Tennessee last year.
Batter is Duke Koulis. He hits a fly ball to left field. That ball's got a little carry, but it will stay in the park. Spittler will make the catch, and the runners will advance again. And an overthrow, and it's backed up. No, it gets by Dillard. That's going to result in another run as
Morris.
I've lost a number here. As Morris scores, that makes it 11-5. Reynolds goes to third.
And Koulis on the sac fly manages to bring in a run from second.
So it'll be a fly ball, left field, caught by Spittler, and then an overthrow error, and that results in the run scoring, and it is now 11-5. And the first pitch to Rob Turner is a strike. That next pitch is a ball. We're at 2-2. Next pitch is just inside. Count is full. There's a swing and a fly ball to deep left center field. I think
that's
we're going to
go.
say adios to that one. A 2-run homer for Rob Turner. That makes it 13-5. That is the second home run of the game that has gone over the fence for Palm Springs. So they have reached their limit. If they hit another home run over the fence, it would be an inning ending out. But another 2-run homer, and now the score after this 6-run inning is 13-5, and it brings up Mike Kerr. Mike Kerr has reached base 3 times today. He's reached an error, and he has singled twice. And he bats here with nobody on and 2 out here in the visitors' half of the 5th inning.
He's been busy today, being used as a pinch runner now twice.
First pitch is grounded foul behind the plate.
Trying to slap that one. His next pitch is inside. Full count now to Kerr from the left side. Nobody on. Bases empty after that home run.
Here's a grounder to third. Spokley can't get it. Clark got his glove on it, but Kerr would have beaten any throw. There was no throw, so it'll go as a single. And Mike Kerr has reached base 4 times so far. In the NAGAAA system of the modified batting average, he is batting 1,000 today. And it'll bring up Kyle Marsh. In his last at-bat, he got rung up on strikes by Chris Overly. Next pitch to him is outside.
I had misspoken, said there was a home run. It was the sac fly, and
that pitch is in for a strike. The count is full. Next one is strike 3 called. He is rung up again. That's the second time he has been called out on strikes. If they win this game, he'll get a lot of razzing from his teammates, I'm sure. But anyway, 6 runs.
Be buying some beer
I'm
today.
sure that's exactly right. 6 runs in the inning, a 2-run homer, the big blow in that inning. And so as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, our new score is Palm Springs 13 and Austin 5.
I don't know if you could hear it down there, but 14 minutes left in the inning or in the game. That's the time that we've just been given by home plate umpire Chris Overly. 14 minutes left in a game that is brought to you by All-American Athletics, the official bats and uniform sponsor for NAGAAA. All-American Athletics has been a great partner for NAGAAA, and they could be a great partner for you. Check them out at All-American Athletics. That's All-American Athletics, All-American-Athletics.com. All-American-Athletics.com.
I'm still trying to get caught up here in Austin's half of the 4th inning to get my scorebook where it needs to be. So Keith Hinshaw will lead off here, and he swings at the first pitch and hits one foul down the right field line. Austin not being selective at the plate today. They've gone after the first pitch the last 6 batters.
In a row, yeah.
In a row. And as a third base coach, I will tell you, because I've been coaching third base for a long time, you hate when that happens, when people get too aggressive and want to make something happen instead of, taking pitches and trying to get for that next best pitch for them to go after. And
I used to have a player who played for me for years, Wyatt Strela, one of my very best friends on the planet now.
Up the middle, caught by Reynolds. That's out number 1.
Passed away a few years back, but I used to get on him for that because he would swing at the first pitch all the time. And his argument to me was, well, it's the best pitch of the at-bat, to which I would respond, how would you know?
Yeah.
If that's the only pitch you see, it is the best pitch of the at-bat.
You know, I know that there are some coaches that make it mandatory for their hitters to just, let that first pitch go by. Here's a grounder to the middle infielder off his glove into right field for a hit. Bogan will head to second base, aggressive base running. Even with a calf injury, he's nursing a little bit of a calf injury. Bogan makes it into second base.
Trying to get his team fired up.
Absolutely. Wanted to make something happen, and he has done that right now. Runner at second base with 1 out here.
That ball had some tricky spin on it because he hit the top spin. He got a lot of top spin on that. Kind of chucked up on Evan, the middle infielder there, and it kind of glanced off his shoulder, and Bogan was off to the races.
Van Vleera has singled and tripled. He has scored a run. No, he has not. He has flied to center and tripled, and he has scored a run and driven in a run, and he swings and lifts one in the air into shallow right center field, and Jeff Herman back and makes the catch, and that's out number 2. What'd you notice there? Anything?
Other than that was Evan Morris out there.
another first pitch swing.
Oh, yeah. Now Morris will move over with the right-handed Hinton.
Hinton is 1 for 2. He has grounded to second, singled and driven in a run in his last at-bat, and he takes the pitch deep for a ball, 2-1.
So no first pitch there.
He heard me. Next one, swing.
Oh, he got a hold of that.
Fly ball to right field. It will be caught by Kerr nearly right in his tracks. And that ends the inning. We have 1 runner left for Austin, and we go to the bottom of the top of the 6th, and our score remains 13-5.
That's one of those hits that you kind of you feel bad for hitting because he hit that on the screws, 6 feet either way, and he's off to the races, with a double or a triple at least. But it was just right at Kerr. Right at him.
Not hit high enough to get caught in that high sky. Although we're looking at the sky now. We are seeing a little more cloud cover than we saw to start the game. I think this happened yesterday too. We started to see more clouds as we got further into the day. Right now, I'm going to call the sky partly cloudy. And it looked like to you that we see a little bit of haze too because we can barely make out those mountains. Oh, look at them dancing.
That's what I was talking about.
That's what you were talking about? You do what you can to have a good time. And
right.
So Spittler and Spokley and Clark dancing from the dugout to just where the grass is in left field. Here we start at the top of the 6th.
That's Cano now.
And he takes the first pitch for a strike. He has doubled, knocked in 3 runs. He has also fly to right center and singled up the middle. And now he hits one to right center field. Straker on the run, dives, cannot get the ball. Cano on his way to second, takes the turn and heads to third. Cano coming to third. They're just now getting the ball in, and Cano will hold up at third base, and he hits a leadoff triple here in the top of the 6th. And so he is on for the 3rd time. He is 3/4 of the way to the cycle.
That was a tough play because it was really dying there at the last minute, and it was either kill or be killed.
Grounder up the middle is through for a base hit by John Tadeo, an RBI single. Cano scores easily, 14-7.
And that one caught Hinton kind of leaning the wrong way. I think he knew that Tadeo was looking opposite field, and he was just kind of leaning the other way and got kind of caught up there.
The coach bats next, and he fouls one to the right side. That's Jeff Herman. He has flied to left, singled and singled again. He scored a run.
That's 3 first pitch swings in a row, by the way.
Saying nothing. Hinton fields that ball at second. Clark for an out at second, and out at first, a double play. 4-6-3.
Beautiful play. That was great turn by Hinton over to Clark, who was coming over across the bag, and then he just unloaded to get Herman, and he had to because Herman was hustling down that line.
James has got a very strong arm, and he just showed it there, flashing that good strong arm. Philip Garrett the batter now, so we have 2 outs and nobody on. Garrett has reached on an error, fly to right and single, and he has scored 2. Takes the next one in for a strike, and he smiles as he looks at Chris Overley and says, 2-2. And the next one is missing for a ball. You know, one of the things that I do enjoy about our tournaments, the next one is swung on and hit to the shortstop. Clark on a hop on Dillard, and that's the inning. We'll talk more about that in a little bit later on. In the top of the sixth for Portland, for Palm Springs, they do pick up a run on 2 hits, and they now advance their lead. It is now 14-5. Fusion batting in the bottom of the sixth.
Once this game is over, we will end our broadcast and then come right back for the 12 o'clock game. That will be another... I lost my schedule
It's
here.
a loser's bracket game, if I recall. Loser's bracket.
Loser's bracket, 5th place. So the winner of that game will be in 5th place, and then we'll get to the winner's bracket final at about 1:15. That is, again, Mountain Time. So we'll end our broadcast and then come right back after we reset some equipment. We've got to move a couple cameras out of the sun. It's getting pretty bright out there.
And so Mitch has got his work cut out for him today.
Does.
We don't want to get our cameras overheated because then you can only hear us instead of seeing what we really would prefer you see.
So we've got 4 cameras out there, and a couple of them are getting pretty warm. So what will happen is we'll take a short break and reset those cameras, put some shade on them, and then come back with that winner's bracket final. Sorry.
Stephen Dillard is up for the 3rd time. He has had a game that he would probably just as soon forget based on his first 2 at-bats. He struck out, and then he struck out again. And he takes that pitch inside. It's 2-2.
Also, the illegal sign was called there. Now, batters have the option to swing on that or not if it's something they want to deal with.
There's a foul to the right side.
If they don't, it would be an automatic ball.
So we were talking about how some of the players don't necessarily always agree with balls and strikes, but when these tournaments or these games are over, I always enjoy how the players will go up to an umpire and thank them for being at this particular site and just giving up their time, and there's a walk, giving up their time to come and umpire these games. It's always a pleasure to see them. A lot of really good blue, and we certainly have them here this weekend as well. Here's Straker. He is singled, and he has singled again. And he hits one right to the pitcher, and we'll get a double play at first base.
Great job of reacting there by Herman, and Dillard was just a little far off the back, thinking that ball, like I did, was going up to the middle, and he was trying to get to third.
Yep.
But Tadeo was there after Herman made the catch, jumped over to first base to get that double play. Good play by Jeff Herman, sort of a kill or be killed, and he's going to live to fight another day.
So 2 on and nobody out. Here's Ben Spokley. He singled his last at bat and lifts one down the right field line. That's a fair ball. It's in for a single, and Ben will hold at first base and will be pinch run for by, I'll bet, Hinton. And it is. That's the switch.
That's been the thing that has impressed me the most, I think, watching this skill level of softball, the A and the Bs, is just how good the pitchers are at fielding their position.
Yes.
If I have a weakness in my game, and there's plenty of them, that's certainly one.
Kelsey Spittler takes a pitch a little bit deep. And takes this one a little bit deep.
Herman threw a knuckleball there. First one I've seen of those from him today.
3 balls and a strike, and that ball hits the plate. So another walk in this inning. That will move Hinton running for Spokley to second base. We have Zabane hitting. Zabane is fly to right and into a fielder's choice, and his last at bat that did drive in a run, he takes the first pitch for a ball. And that pitch is a little low, ball 3. Reynolds throws a strike on this pitch. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Zabane swings and pops it up into right field. And Kerr makes the catch.
With a little sun.
A little flare.
Omar was trying to get some help from the sun there, and he almost did.
2 left for Austin in the home half of the 6th inning, and our score continues at 14-5.
So, Rich, yesterday it was Sun 6, right fielders nothing. Today it looks like it's right fielders 6 and Sun nothing.
Exactly that. We don't seem to have too many balls being dropped in the outfield today, or that were like were hurt by the high sky that we had, so that makes the outfield play a little bit better today.
Looks
a
like
little
it's
bit
trying,
easier.
though.
Yeah.
Looks like it's trying to get them.
Go to the top of the order here, and for the 5th time this game, 5th time in 7 innings, Evan Morris will bat. He has singled, flied to left, singled, and reached, and also singled. So he is 3 for 4.
Had that 300-foot single earlier.
That's the one that's this one right here. And Van Valera ready to start the top of the 7th. The first pitch is swung on and hit up the middle. And so Morris today is 4 for 5 as he starts the top of the 7th with a single. George Reynolds, the batter. Reynolds is fly to left, line to the pitcher, singled. Single to right field. That pitch is a little high. Ball 3. And Reynolds takes a strike. It's 3-2. He wasn't even going to offer at that pitch. He started to step out of the box as soon as the pitch was thrown. It was a strike. The count is full. And here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and hit to left field for a base hit. So he's 2 for 5 today. Morris will go to third as they were a little late getting the ball. And not only does Morris make third, but aggressive base running by Reynolds has him at second base with nobody out. So
Speaking of Coors Light,
you have one? There you go.
that was a bottle this time. In case you're wondering.
Duke Koulis, the batter. Koulis has reached 3 times and now 4 times as he gets a ground ball to right field for a base hit. Morris will score. Reynolds will hold it third, and it's now 15-5. A cool, refreshing taste. Bring up Rob Turner, line to shortstop, singled, grounded to shortstop, and singled. Nobody out here for Palm Springs, and here's a fly ball hit to right field. That ball's going to hug the line, and it just drops foul. That did not miss by much. We lose a little bit of the right field foul line from our seat here. Roman has a better view of it than I. I have a better view in left than he.
Didn't miss by much.
Did
it
not,
was close.
Didn't seem to miss by much. It was based on the way Chris Overly threw his arms up too. A little dramatic flair. Here's a ground ball to second, fielded by Hinton. A run will score. Clark makes the out at second. Then the throw to first is late. So another run scores for Palm Springs. That's 2 in this inning, and that makes the score 16-5 for the Rounders. And we'll bring up Mike Kerr, who has reached 4 times on an error and 3 singles.
Now, time has expired. That's what that sound was if you were able to pick it up. So we will finish this inning.
Austin will get its last at-bat again. They have been the home team in this game, as they were the higher seed. Here's a fly ball hit to right center field. Bogan on his horse makes the catch. Out number 2. Out number 2. And on that play, Rob Turner held first base. Here's Kyle Marsh. Here's a fly ball to right center field, and Straker will track that ball down, and the inning is over. 2 more runs for the Rounders as we head to the bottom of the 7th. And last at-bat for Fusion. They need a bunch. It is 16-5. I know Kyle Marsh had to be a little happy with that at-bat, because the previous 2 at-bats, he never got to leave the batter's box.
That happens sometimes. It's been a consistent strike zone from Overlay. He's been giving that pitch to both pitchers.
Yes.
That's really what you ask for as a pitcher is you recognize that every umpire strike zone is going to be a little different, and what you really care about is that it is consistent. So that once you figure it out, you know what it is. And Overly has had the same strike zone we've seen him for This is what, our 5th game with him now? Or,
Yes.
And so
I
he's
think
been
we had-
remarkably
yeah.
consistent for all 5, 4 yesterday, and now this one today.
Top of the order for Fusion in the bottom of the 7th, and that means Clark, Hinshaw, and Bogan. Clark has grounded to the pitcher. He has doubled, scored a run, and for him, hit into a rare double play in his last at-bat, because as fast as he runs, when you double him up, you have done a job. Here's a line drive foul down the left field line, just to the outside of the chalk, and it didn't miss by much. Have a good view of it here. He did not miss getting a double by much, and so it's a ball and 2 strikes. Again, our next game coming up shortly will be a loser's elimination game. Next pitch to Clark is swung on and lifted to right center field
great
for
recovery.
a big hit. And leadoff base runner here for the Fusion in the bottom of the 7th is James Clark, and brings up Keith Hinshaw.
What a great recovery. He tried to pull that ball with the pitch that he got inside. It wasn't even a ball, or it was a ball, and he pulled it foul. And then this one, just nice, easy pop right up the middle. Great job of hitting.
Hinshaw takes a ball.
And another knuckleball from Reynolds.
Swung on and hit just past the outstretched dive of Jeff Herman for a base hit to right field. On the play, Clark will go to third, first and third with nobody out, and will bring up Chris Bogan, who has been a hot hitter today. Bogan is 2 for 3, and he has scored a run. He has driven in 2, and he bats with runners at the corners and nobody out. He also reached on a miscue by the middle infielder, so he has been on 3 times. There's a base hit to right center field. That ball gets into the alley. Clark scores. Henshaw will head to third. Cope will hold him up, but Bogan doesn't see that, and Bogan is going to grind up at third base. They have 2 runners at third base. Now Bogan will try to go back to second. There's the throw, and he's out. Now the play will go. Well, I can't even. I'm not even going to. I'm not going to try. Just know that the putout was made by Jeff Herman. No, I'm sorry. The putout was made by Evan Morris.
On the sort of short pickle there.
So,
1 run in.
One run
Clark.
in. There is an out on the play. So Bogan will get an RBI on that. It's his third. Van Vleera will bat. We'll give Bogan a double, and then he is out on the relay. Here's a fly ball to right field by Van Vleera. Kerr giving chase, and he makes the catch in foul territory. Henshaw will come in and score. That's a sacrifice fly RBI for Van Vleera, but 2 outs.
So they're down to their final out, and that'll bring up Hinton, because this is the final out here. They've got to rally here, or they will not have an opportunity.
Score is now 16 to 7. Hinton today is grounded to second base. He is singled. He is fly to right, and the first pitch to him is illegal. 2-1.
We would love to tell you who's coming up next. We don't know yet, because those games are being played. So as soon as we do know, we'll come right back and give you that information.
The next one is deep.
That's the fun of live TV and tournament play.
3 balls and a strike, and Ashton walks. So he is a 2-out base runner here.
That's a quality at bat from Hinton, because when you're down a chunk and you've got 2 outs, the temptation is to try to do something.
Here's Dillard. Low, short,
Just
ball
hit the
2.
plate, yeah.
Reynolds working quickly. And a swing and a miss. And a throw to first. And what are they saying?
It doesn't really.
Steal.
That's not really a rule.
Okay, yeah. But hey, you do what you can. Dillard is he
the foul
reaches
to
for
give
one,
there.
and the pitch was outside, but reaching for it, and it's a foul to the dugout. It is 2-2. That's the courtesy foul. Swing and a ground ball up the middle, bounce off the pitcher's glove, fielded by Reynolds as he recovers. Dillard is out at first base, 1-3. And now they'll empty the dugouts and shake hands. Our final score here this afternoon will be Palm Springs 16 and the ATX Fusion 7.
We might see the Fusion back again as we come in to start doing some of these loser bracket finals. That is what we'll have for you in just a few minutes. Again, we're going to shut down our broadcast and restart everything. For Rich Siegel, I'm Roman Jimenez. This is the 2019 NAGAAA Cup Invitational Softball Tournament in Denver, Colorado, presented by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. We'll be back in just a minute.